Jace Tunnell here, Mission Aransas National Estuarine Research Reserve at the University of Texas Marine Science Institute. And you're probably wondering what we're talking about today, right? Does this look like something illegal to you? Well, I'm going to give you all a few seconds to try to look over like what these might be. Kind of lightweight, wrapped with rope, many times with plastic. Some of them are just look like little bales of rubber that are put together with like netting around it, but they all serve a purpose, and it's actually a cheap float. And so a lot of these are from long lining, different fishing gear. They're to be able to mark where the either traps are or the netting. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to pick this up and show you some of the different ways that that they make them, and then how we find them. I mean, these were all found within just a few miles on the beach. But I know a lot of y'all are thinking drugs, right? Well, that's not the case. These are actually really lightweight if you pick them up and stuff like that. So let's pick it up, and I'll show you kind of what some of these are made out of. We'll start over here. This is just a tub that was used, and it's all in Spanish here. I was going to try to see, I don't really speak Spanish. Formula, antibacterial formula. So this was like some kind of chemical barrel that they had. They put cellophane over it and rubber bands to try to keep the water out so that it's good and floats. Then they've got the rope kind of over the top of it. Many of them that we find are just inside of here is styrofoam wrapped in plastic, and then they've got this real thin, the thin plastic, but then some different types of rope. And so somebody spent time, kind of like a netting rope that goes all the way around it. And then this is what this type of rope would actually go, and it would hook onto a net or a trap. And this is pretty typical kind of device that you would see and find, you know, on a crab trap or something like that, or some other floats. We find these stainless steel clips all the time. Now this one was real cheap. This just had like cellophane wrapped all the way around it, but it is styrofoam, similar type rope around it. This one was right at the water's edge and has you know, a lot of sand in there, so it makes it kind of heavy. Let's see, these are very similar. You know, these are the ones that people really think, whenever we put pictures of them, they think, oh man, those have got to be drugs. But actually they're not. They have gooseneck barnacles on them, so you know that they've been out in the environment, in the water for a while, drifting around. So that's what these are. This one that I pointed out earlier, this looks like one of those gymnastic mats, and it just made out of rubber, and then it has like shrimp netting that goes around the outside of it. This orange one here, these are very similar to the yellow ones here, although when they made this one, they used like a 40-pound test fishing line, monofilament fishing line for their rope. So maybe that lasts longer or something, I don't know. This is eventually why we don't want these out in the environment, and this is why we pick them up to dispose of them, is because you can see the plastic is old and it's starting to disintegrate. The same thing will happen with the styrofoam. And you know what happens when these things break down like this is the pieces come off, and then they're available to animals to eat. And you know, you don't want, animals don't know the difference between, you know, plastic and real food, stuff like that, because it grows bacteria on it. It tastes like food to them. So we want to make sure we get these off the beach. Now, this one is interesting, and we find a few of these. This one's in pretty bad shape. But this one has a heavy weight at the end, and this is also for being able to mark, you know, where a net might be. But this is like a Coke bottle with concrete in it, and then just on a PVC pipe, and then a big styrofoam piece here with tape wrapped all around it. And then it has a flag on top so the fishermen can see from far away, you know, where their net might actually be. And so there's a number of these, and actually we have one right here I'll show you. that's made very similarly, but a little more heavy duty, and it has metal on the bottom with some thicker rope that actually probably went to wherever their trap was or their net. And then they actually have cloth wrapped around this one, rope and styrofoam. Then if you want to get real cheap, you know, we find a lot of these things that have just used bottles on them that are wrapped up, and they might have some additional floats on them. Sometimes they're just bottles that, you know, I've seen up to like 20 bottles wrapped together before, and they do a similar type thing of just marking where the fishing lines are and stuff like that. So this is the type of stuff we try to get off the beach because of entanglement or ingestion when the stuff starts breaking down for the wildlife. So that's it for this episode of Beachcombing. We'll catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.